Hi, welcome to the Creative Shame Reduction Experiment for the new moon, which is today. I wonder if it's on. I don't have my glasses, and I have this new light, and I haven't had time to figure out how to use it, so I'm gonna wear my sunglasses. But, oh yeah, it's live because someone's watching. I can't see who. Oh, man. Anyway, so, yeah, we're going to do a shame reduction experiment. I'm trying to download. I decided to start on time as much as I could. So I'm going to sort of be working on it as we go along. So, go ahead and just mess around with your Facebook, whoever's watching. I'm going to try to talk while I'm doing this. I'm trying to get Facebook onto my burner phone. I got this new phone. It's a burner. My kids make fun of me for calling it a burner because I guess technically it's not a burner. A burner is a phone that you... hi, Marcy. A burner is a phone that you use to buy drugs, apparently. And this burner, I call this a burner because my kids do not... cannot stand to be out of touch with me for 1 minute. If I am unavailable, like I'll get a text from them that's like, Mom, can you do this? And then if I don't answer within 15 seconds, there's another one that's like, Mom, like a million question marks, and then let's say 2 minutes go by, they think I'm dead, which is not good because it's upsetting for them. So I really feel like I have to be tethered to my phone. And so I got a burner phone, which is just them. They're the only people who are going to have the number. And if they need me, but then I never have it with me, unfortunately, so it's not really working out. But I'm trying to get Facebook onto my burner phone. But you know what? I'm gonna probably just have to forget. Yeah, I'm getting the app. I actually get the Facebook app onto my phone and delete it on a regular basis. I don't know if other people do that, but I'm not gonna be able to do that. So, the creative shame experiment is happening, and I have no plans at all because I have kids, and so I've been running around like a crazy woman, and I haven't planned anything. But I do want to do a bit of a recap from the last creative shame reduction experiment, and also anyone who is watching. I know, Marcy, I know where to get it at the App Store. I know to get Facebook at the App Store, but then it asked me for my iTunes ID, which I can't remember. I made up a new one. I actually can remember it, but it's just too much. And I couldn't find my glasses, so that's why I'm wearing sunglasses. I'm also wearing sunglasses because of the light. So anyway, we're going to talk about shame tonight, and I was hoping to bring somebody from the audience on camera. So anybody who wants to come on camera, I was thinking maybe we could have a little dialogue. I don't know who David Saybold is, actually. I'm glad you're my friend. Would you like to come on camera and say hello? You can say, and then, I don't know, Marcy, that might be you, the first option. So anybody want to come on camera and talk about shame, you're welcome, because I don't have a guest tonight, and I have some stuff I want to talk about, and I'd be happy to have an online guest. So I'm seeing if David or Marcy wants to come on camera. I know it's a big ask. You don't have to at all. Hamp Tucker, Hamp, you can come on camera. So I'm just looking, that's my experiment tonight. That's the experiment, is bringing people on camera. I don't even know what that means. I think that if I push this blue button, whoever is watching can come on camera with me. So that's an invitation. So we're gonna talk about shame. So to recap, I've been having some interesting experiences, and I want to say also at the very top of the hour which we may not even spend an entire hour, I am not crazy. I just want to say that here before I start talking, because you may find that I sound crazy once I start talking, and because I have some kind of crazy stuff I want to talk about. And I'm doing this on my personal account because I would like to move it over to my Itchy Banquet, but as it is, it's going to be people like moms, high school friends, people I don't know or maybe I should know, watching. So I know that I don't want you to think I'm crazy, but this is basically performance art. So it's also, because I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, I'm just a person who's interested in shame and a person who has had a lot of shame. I'm kind of like a shame monster. So I just want to get that out of the way, that I'm not crazy, and but I might seem crazy. So now we're going to start entering into the crazy part of the conversation. And I couldn't get anybody to come on camera. I just want to put that offer out. I have this offer for people to come on camera. I know you're probably at home watching with your pajamas on, or you're all sweaty like I am, or you haven't brushed your hair like I haven't. I was supposed to get my hair dyed today, and I chickened out. So just so you know, I was going to go blonde. I had the appointment set up and everything, and I had gone in for a consultation with Charlie. And I'm not her favorite person, I don't think. I just get a funny feeling I'm not. And because I'm very hesitant about dyeing my hair and stuff, and I hate the hair salon. And then I just got really busy, and I just really couldn't spend 4 hours getting my gray taken out. And then I started thinking, and I was out with these 30-year-olds last night, and they pay money to have gray hair, and they think gray hair is awesome. So I did not get my hair dyed today. I gave the appointment to my daughter, who is now a full blonde. So I didn't brush my hair. So anyone want to come on camera? Sarah, I know you don't want to come on camera. I know you well enough. I thought maybe Marcy would go for it. Anyway, that's the offer tonight. I don't have a guest. Next month I have a guest. We'll be doing this on the new moon every month. My guest next month is going to talk about Nietzsche. Her name's Caroline Kelly, and she's a Nietzsche expert, and she teaches about Nietzsche. So she's going to come on top about, because I think Nietzsche has a few things to say about shame. And then in September I have a guest, and that is Julian De La Cruz, and he's going to talk about like tarot cards, which I'll figure out a way to wrap that up with shame. So we have guests coming up, but I don't have anyone tonight. So my first cousin is watching. I'm putting the offer out. Anybody can come on camera. Every time somebody joins, there's a little thing that says bring them on camera, and I would never do that to you if you did not give me permission. But since I don't have a guest, I need a guest, and so I'm just hoping somebody's gonna jump in and offer to be a guest. Okay, so also if you came in briefly, I'm just gonna say ahead, again, I'm not crazy. Just wanna get out of the way. Okay, so the first thing I wanna talk about is this guy Bashar. Okay, so, and Buddhism, and this is related to shame. Although I am gonna take this shame topic and broaden it out a little bit, because I think there's just so much shame everywhere that really you could talk about anything, and you could bring shame into it. And it is a shame reduction experiment. It's not just talking about shame, but it's how to reduce shame. So Buddhism. So I got this book this week called Why Buddhism is True. And it is evolutionary Buddhism. Again, anyone who wants to join in the conversation, I need a guest. So if anyone knows anything about Buddhism, I'd love to have you on the show. This is not a show, by the way. And I'm not crazy. I just need to keep repeating that. So I got this book about Buddhism, and they talk a lot about not self. I've really only in the first 20 pages. I have it on an audiobook. I want to say something about audiobooks as an aside. There's something wrong with my brain because I can't listen to audiobooks unless it's sped up to 2 or 3 times the speed. I get so impatient and angry listening to a book that's recorded at normal speed. So I just wanted to say that. That's something wrong with my brain. So I listen to it so fast that there's really no emotion in it. It sounds like a robot. Speaking of robots, I will get back to Buddhism. The topic, when I put this on Facebook, I wrote, I am a robot, I have no feelings. That was sort of the title. Because when my kids were little, sometimes I would just get so overwrought with this, overwhelmed by my feelings, like if I was angry, because it really sucks when you're angry at a little kid, because little kids are really cute, and they don't deserve for you to be angry at them, but sometimes they just drive you effing crazy. And I was a stay-at-home mom, so I spent hours and 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 hours with my kids when they were little. And in the winter time, sometimes if there was snow days or whatever, and you'd be trapped in your house for days at a time with these little kids. And my ex-husband traveled a lot, and so I was alone with them a lot. And sometimes I would just get to the point where I just couldn't. I was afraid I was going to yell at them or scream at them or just lose my mind. So I would go into this mode where I pretend to be a robot, and I would just if they said something to me, I would just say, "I am a robot. I have no feelings." And I would just do it over and over again. I know this, I'm telling you, I'm not crazy. I'm going to say that again. But it worked, because it was kind of I would leave my body by saying that. I would just sort of, and in a weird way, when you act like a robot, your feelings kind of calm. It gave my feelings a chance to calm down, you know. So if I was just at the end of my rope, I would start doing that. And my kids thought it was funny. That would be really confusing to them also, because like they would just be like, where did mom go? You know, mom became a robot. And so I'm talking about that because it is related to shame and Buddhism. So we're just gonna have to assume that the shame's gonna get rolled in with the other topics, because I believe it will. This Buddhism book, Why is Buddhism True? Amanda, I'm looking for somebody to bring on camera. You're not gonna want to do it either. I have this ability to bring people on camera, and I don't have a guest, and so I want to just see what it looks like. So I'm looking for volunteers. You're like the sixth person who's come on board, but I can't get Anna Sandler. I'm looking for people. I'm looking for a guest, and so we're talking about Buddhism right now. So anybody who jumps in, who knows about Buddhism, I can just push a little button, and you can be on screen with me. Would love to. Amanda, no. Okay, I know. I'm not going to do it to anyone who doesn't want to do it. I won't. I promise. But I do need a guest. I'm looking for a guest. Feel free to comment on the computer as well if you want to jump in on Buddhism. So this book is about evolutionary psychology and Buddhism. And Buddhism talks a lot about, and also after 10 minutes I'm going to stop and then I'll start up again, but I cannot talk single-handedly for an hour, and I might not even do this for an hour. I might just do 10 minutes. But so Buddhism talks about the not self and emotions and illusion and delusion. And so this book that I got, it's way too complex and complicated for me to talk about, but it talks a lot about emotions and how emotions are, I never have liked mindfulness that much I had this for the last 10 years, I've just going around saying I hate Buddhists, which is a joke. I obviously I don't hate Buddhists, and I especially I don't mean I hate Buddhists, that I hate Western Buddhists, which I don't anyway. I don't hate Western Buddhists either, but it was kind of a joke, to me. I used to make jokes like, oh, I hate Buddhists, or my other thing was sort of like the Buddhists are like the really controlling people that you run into in the health food store. And I'm saying this, I'm not proud of the fact that I like to make jokes, I like to be funny, and I thought that was funny for some reason. I think saying I hate Buddhists is funny, because it's just ridiculous, like how could you hate Buddhists? And, I thought it was funny. And in the way that some people hate born-again Christians, I don't know. It doesn't sound that funny, but I thought it was funny. And then the health food store. It is true that you can get into some pretty serious scrapes at the health food store. You can run into some pretty controlling people at the health food store. I'm one of them. I've gotten better, but there's a certain je ne sais quoi that goes along with controlling your food to a certain degree. And so those were just dumb jokes, but I did kind of block myself off from Buddhism. And same with mindfulness. Like when somebody would say mindfulness to me, it felt like they were that when I thought of mindfulness, I thought of like being smothered with a pillow, which I know is also not very probably not an accurate read of what mindfulness means. But it's just like the idea of having to be mindful of every single thing that happens during the day made me want to jump off a bridge. And so what I'm trying to say is that I'm not really a Buddhist or haven't been very exposed to Buddhism. At the same time, though, I have been, and like I said, I just feel, anybody want to come on camera? Marianne, would you like to come on camera? I need a guest. I need a guest. I need somebody that knows about mindfulness at the moment. Or if anyone wants just to chime in texting, I'm sure somebody's having a response. I basically said I hate Buddhists and mindfulness is like being smothered with a pillow. These are both outrageously wrong things to say, and I need somebody to fight back. And also, I made horrible accusations about people who shop in health food stores, and even though I'm one of them. But I kind of miss the old health food store. I have to say, Whole Foods is kind of given the health food store the heave-ho. And the health food store used to be a place where you could, the community, just the community board, just the bulletin board at a health food store could change your life. It changed my life. So they do have bulletin boards at Whole Foods, but it's mostly filled with like complaints about how the organic chocolate chip cookies are stale. It's not like at a health food store you could get sexual partners and people to play in bands with and kittens and rides to Portland, whatever you wanted, really. And that is a shame. But that has nothing to do with shame. So I'm way off topic. Let me take a sip of water. Anybody want to come on camera? Keep making that offer. Come on. You can wear sunglasses like me because I don't have makeup on, so I decided to wear sunglasses. No? So we're talking about Buddhism and evolutionary psychology and emotions and illusion and delusion and shame. Where do I go from there? Emotions. Okay, so I wanted to, I have to think about this for a second. So mindfulness, according to the person who wrote this book, whose name I don't know, it's an audiobook, so I can't hold it up. According to him, and the book is called Why Buddhism is True. According to him, when your mind, like real masters of meditation, can be mindful of their emotions. And when an emotion comes up, they can witness it without becoming a slave to it. And there's something that makes me feel kind of hopeless about the fact that would ever be possible, because it just seems like such a far reach for me. But he talks about road rage in particular. And I do think road rage, hey, John, John, it's funny that you should join, because I'm talking about Buddhism, and I just confessed that I hated Buddhism for a long time, and I also realize how ridiculous that position is. But I don't hate Buddhism anymore, which is really great. So we're talking about Buddhism. So I was talking about, all right, so road rage. This is one thing that they were talking about, is that if you, and I particularly have real issues. I don't have problems with road rage. Well, I don't have problems with road rage, but here's my problem. I'm a bad driver, and I'm not proud of that. I know I'm not a good driver, because I'll be driving around and I'll think everything's going just fine and I'm just having my day, and somebody will just drive by me and flip the bird and scream, like in a screaming rage. Like somebody will drive by me, I'll look over and their face is red, they're like flipping both fingers, like no hands on the steering wheel, like and somebody, I've done something, obviously, something horrible, and I don't generally know what. So that is, to me, that's how I know I'm a bad driver. I also know I'm a bad driver because I often run over the curb on the right-hand side on the back rear tire. I don't know if anyone else has that problem. Doesn't anyone want to come on camera? Catherine, you want to come on camera? So anyway, and John, we're talking about Buddhism, so if you want to chime in, I would like that. I was talking about this book I'm reading, Why Buddhism is True, and evolutionary psychology and emotions, and gonna loop it back to shame. The shame reduction part, I don't know, we'll figure that out. So we're talking about shame in the sense of road rage. So when I look up and I see somebody with both fingers up at me in a car, I feel ashamed and I feel badly. I feel sad, and I will often cry. Like, it will make me cry. And I call that giving me the shame sandwich. And sometimes if I do something when I'm driving, and it's always accidental, not always accidental, but often it's I do shitty things accidentally when I'm driving. Sometimes I do them on purpose, but more often it's accidental. And sometimes I'll do something, I know I've done it, and I will not look over at the other driver, because I literally cannot bear to feel ashamed. Like, I know if I look over, they're going to be like, I hate you, you stupid person. You just switched lanes and I was in your blind spot. You didn't see me and I was going to die and you almost killed me, and I just won't look at them. And that's a weird feeling too, because you're like driving along, like, trying to remain oblivious, and never look at the other driver. That's good advice from Catherine. I try not to, but sometimes you can help it. Now my kids know too, so they'll look for me and they'll say, Mom, you should have seen that person's face. They report back to me. So in this Buddhism book, when they're talking about stay in your lane and you are good. Stay in your lane. Well, stay in your lane is sort of like a aphorism too, right, for life. So what was I talking about? Evolutionary psychology and emotions and road rage and mindfulness. And so I think the idea behind mindfulness, at least from what I understood from this, the first 40 pages of this book, is that if you are if you witness it enough, and if you can detach from it almost till your feelings, till you sense that your feelings are not even real, they're not even part of you. Like a feeling is almost like, and this is where for me it gets really interesting, that if you have been meditating a lot and you are, I don't know, at a certain level of awareness about, like, I don't know, it's almost like you learn to separate gradually from the things that are happening in your mind. And I guess thoughts, feelings, according to this book, sort of attached to thought, which I think is interesting, which I think is very, very interesting. Here's one thing. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take a 1 minute meditation break. So everybody has to meditate for 1 minute. I'm not going to time it. Whatever seems like a minute. So just meditate. If you don't know how to do it, just sit there and pretend to meditate. Close your eyes, though. Definitely close your eyes and breathe. I really don't want to start talking again. Well, the issue is the shame reduction part of this work, this experiment. I don't really know. We'll get to it, but we're not really there yet. I guess, well, mindfulness meditation is a form of shame reduction. There. And that's what I'm talking about. I went on a mindfulness meditation retreat, and I definitely recommend the book Why Buddhism is True. I was at my college reunion, and I love it when this happens. A guy, Andrew Boardman, he sometimes is around on social media. I don't think he's here right now, but he came running over to me at this, he didn't come running over to me. I'm exaggerating, but wait, let me start that story over. Andrew was at my college reunion, and we were just talking. So nobody went running over to anyone. I don't know where that came from, some like weird pocket of my brain. So he came over to me, and we started talking, and he asked me what I was up to, and I think I told him that I was doing this thing called clairvoyant training. And clairvoyant training, in my mind, is another way to reduce shame. And clairvoyant training sounds wackier than it is. It is basically, it comes from the Kabbalah, and it is tantric meditation, basically, where you're tracking your energy up through your chakras, starting at your root chakra, which is down under where your perineum, or it's like sort of like even with the space between your handles down there. Well, I guess women have two, but men only have one. Where am I going with this? This is not necessary. So the chakras, you know what they are. I don't have to talk about handles or anything like that. So tantric meditation is, I guess it's also called is tantra Kundalini, maybe. That's like that. And so clairvoyant training is related to that. Although you go into your psychic realm, and the psychic realm, I'm going like this, but it's really like your whole. Well, the psychic realm is like a wormhole, and so what I'm realizing is that Buddhism is very related. That the way that, especially Tibetan Buddhism, is very connected to the Kabbalah. I think on some level, the way that you meditate, like, as I just learned that recently. At any rate, the mindfulness. Oh, I was telling you the story when I did a mindfulness meditation retreat. It was a 5-day silent retreat, the first one I did. And it was down in Washington, D.C. It was a long time ago. And I didn't know anything about it when I went. And the first thing that happened is that I had borrowed these pillows from I really don't want to talk this whole time. So does anyone want to come on camera? Drew Prochaska, do you want to go on camera? I'm looking for someone to agree to come on camera so I can just see what it looks like. You don't even have to stay on camera. If you let me bring you on camera, we just want to see what it looks like. I want to see if other people can see it. I want to see I've never done it. It would be so great for me. And you can just talk to me for 2 minutes and then I'll let you go. Drew, I bet you want to do it. Let me see. Nils will do it. Oh, I don't know though. I don't know, Nils. I don't know if I can bring you on camera. You're so amazing. Nils, I'm looking for someone to come on camera. Do you want to come on camera? I just have to push a little button that says bring them on camera and then you'll be on camera with me. I would love to have you. Either Drew or Nils or Lisa, whoever wants to come on camera. This is an experiment. We have to experiment. We have to play. I want you to play with me. So come on and play. I just want to see what it looks like when I bring someone else on camera. Anyone, just come on camera with me. We don't have to talk about Buddhism. We can talk about anything. So I'm looking for a taker, but I don't know if and I am getting comments. So, all right, somebody just say why they don't want to come on camera for me. And then I can work on that. I can sort of start talking you into it, but I need to know why nobody has volunteered to come on camera. I mean, look at me. I'm sitting here in my sunglasses. I got this new light for my camera and I haven't really figured out how to make myself look good. So I'm wearing my sunglasses. I am here underneath. It's probably not a good idea to wear sunglasses, but. All right, I'm still not getting a volunteer, so I'll go back to my story. So I did this 5-day meditation retreat. It was called a Vipassana retreat. It was with Tara Brach, who has now become a giant mindfulness superstar. But this was a long time ago. She was not a giant mindfulness superstar. So it's kind of like, that's kind of like seeing REM at a college club, or seeing Drake, when he was just like rapping in a high school gym. So I did this retreat with Tara Brach and did not know anything about it. I borrowed these pillows. I didn't have meditation pillows, and so it said to bring pillows to sit on. So I borrowed these pillows from my landlady, and we rented this little apartment out in the country, and it was like this old house out in the country. And she said, "Oh, I think I have some pillows down in the basement." And she brought me these pillows, and I threw them in the car, and I went there. So the very first day, we're sitting there, and you have to meditate for, it seems like a million years, but it was like, you start off like you do like half an hour, but basically you're doing like 10 hours a day, at least. So I'm sitting there on my mat, on my pillows, and I'm just sitting there and I'm really like excited to meditate, and maybe an hour had gone by, maybe not even an hour. And I looked down at my pillow and there were like maggots crawling out of my pillow. Wait, let me rephrase that. They were maggots. They were not like maggots. They were maggots. See, I'm not wearing makeup. And in the light, it's just like, give me a break. It's like Ivory soap commercial or something. Stephanie Trickler, hello. I'm looking for a volunteer to come on camera. Where's your brother, Stephanie? Your brother is the president of the Bootronal fan club, literally, and he says so, and I really appreciate it, I gotta tell you. Anyway, that gives you honorary status as well, because he's my only fan and the president of the club. No, he's not my only fan. So, what was I talking about? There were maggots coming out of my pillow. So that was my first introduction to mindfulness meditation. So then I started smushing the little worms around my pillow during the meditation, which I don't know much about Buddhism, but I do know that's not okay. And then I finally just couldn't take it anymore, so I got up from my pillow, which is also completely unacceptable. And this was in the first 3 hours of meditation, which is, you can fail, and you can fail miserably, and I was failing miserably. So then I went and told a woman what was happening. I needed a new pillow, and rustled around, ruined the whole morning for everyone. And it got worse after that. So I got new pillows, and I don't know what they did with my wormy, maggoty pillows. But I also there was just stuff I didn't know. Like, I was there with my ex-husband, and we weren't married yet. We were still dating, and we were very affectionate, and I didn't know we weren't supposed to kiss or touch each other on it. You're not supposed to talk or anything. And so I got in trouble later because I would hold his hand, or I think we were making out. I don't know what I was doing, like between the sessions or something. So I really screwed all that up. But the point was that I did do a 5-day silent retreat. And but I certainly didn't become a master. And people go for, I know people have been doing this for years and years and years. The point being that I want a guest. I want one of you to come on camera with me. I cannot just talk. I just can't rant for an hour or even much longer about shame reduction. But we're talking about mindfulness meditation today. So anybody have any comments or questions about mindfulness meditation or Buddhism, about which I have read 40 pages in a book this week. And I did go on 2 5-day mindfulness meditation retreats. I did better on the second retreat. That was a long time ago, though. I also have been learning this form of meditation called clairvoyant meditation, and I've been doing that for a while. And I've also been meditating every day for like 25 years. But that's true. Let me just say that again, because that's pretty freaking awesome. I've been meditating pretty much every day for 25 years, but I wouldn't call myself a master of meditation, and I wouldn't say that I have learned to view my emotions as separate from me. But it is related to what I was saying in our last month's discussion. I also want to say, just take a moment to say that I'm not crazy. I just think every now and then I need to remind you all that. This is sort of performance art, and I'm trying to pretend that I'm edging toward performing, what am I edging toward? Being like a spiritual teacher, but as a performance. Not saying that I am one, but that I'm pretending to be one. And then when I'm pretending to be a spiritual teacher, or like an inventor, really, what I'm pretending to be is a philosopher, a philosophical inventor, and I want to invent something. And what I'm trying to invent is connected to shame. And you're helping me do that. That's what's going on here. It's an experiment, which is why I want somebody to come on camera and be a guest, but still not getting anyone. Because there's this button that says bring person on camera, and I really want to do it, but not without permission. So let's see. If I call your name and you want to come on camera, please say. Let me know. Send me a comment. Okay. Marcy, David, Alice, hello, Sarah, Jim, Amanda, already said absolutely not. Anna, Virginia. You want to come on camera, Virginia? If you're still out there? Oh, I don't wear makeup. Don't do a video with a professional light and not wear makeup. I didn't have time. I had to take my daughter to SAT tutoring. Not that anyone cares. Heidi, you want to come on camera? Marianne, I already asked you. Nobody? I need a guest. We're talking about Buddhism, mindfulness, clairvoyant training. I mean, all these things are connected. And also the fact that I want to be a philosophical inventor and that you guys are helping me. That's an experiment. And it has something to do with shame. So and I wasn't going to do it this month because I wasn't prepared, but then I figured, what the hell? So, no comments and no volunteers. I'm just going to keep asking. Because you do not want to hear me talk much longer, I'm sure. Anybody have a question about clairvoyant training? I know you have questions about clairvoyant training. Just the word clairvoyant screws people's brains up, when all the clairvoyant means is clear seeing. That's what that means. You might wonder also, if I've been meditating every day for 25 years, why I'm not perfect and completely enlightened. Well, this is the thing. Well, first of all, I'm going to pretend to be. That's part of this performance art piece, is that I'm going to pretend to be enlightened. And then I'm going to start a big business, a corporation based on it. Enrique Biasotti, I do not know you, I don't think. Say more about being a philosophical inventor. Okay, thank you, Tim. Tim, I don't have the option to bring you on camera. You must have that blocked on your... I'd bring you on so fast. I would bring you on so fast. But Enrique, would you like to come on camera? Melanie, would you like to come on camera? I'm looking for a guest. All right, so Tim wants to know more about being a philosophical inventor. Yes, well, the avenue I'm pursuing right now is around emotions as entities, but which I didn't invent. So in order to invent something, I think you have to just run with it. You have to grab something and run with it, and then really dig into it. I want to make a comment about that. So not the last one of these we did a month ago. We do these on every new moon. And 2 moons ago. 2 moons ago. Okay. Oh, Lisa, good questions. Okay, so let me just 2 moons ago. Hold that thought, and let me answer Lisa's question. I have to unfold it though. It's a little see more. Okay. Well, let's see. It says, how do you connect your clairvoyant training to shame? What have you learned about how humans process shame energetically? And unfortunately, so that's all I can see. And those are good questions. So the clairvoyant, how do I connect my clairvoyant training to shame? Okay, well, here's one way. There's many ways that you can do that. But where I'm at in my training now is that I'm on level 3. I just finished level 2. I just started my first level 3 tonight. So I really shouldn't say anything about level 3. But in level 2, you start learning how you start like it's like past life stuff. So in that sense, it does connect to Buddhism, especially Tibetan Buddhism. Because I went to an art exhibit about Tibetan Buddhism. Hi, Kim. So I'm looking for a guest, Yvonne and Kim. I'm looking for someone to bring on camera. I'm not going to embarrass you. I just want to see how it works. Because every time a name comes up, it says, bring them on camera, ? And I just want to see what happens. But I'm not going to do it without permission. And if it's awful and you want to get off, I'll let you off right away. So I'm wondering if either Kim or Yvonne wants to come on camera. So let me know. You have to let me know pretty quickly because it scrolls up and then I can't bring you on. So I have struck out with like 20 people at this point, trying to find someone to come on camera. What do you got to lose? Look at me. Look at me. I'm just spitballing up here. I've got no notes. I've got nothing planned. So it couldn't get, this is what we're doing. It's an experiment. And people are, sometimes I start thinking, oh my God, I'm doing this Facebook Live experiment and I don't have anything planned and I should have like a speech prepared or something. But then I think, well, what are you doing when you're on Facebook? You're just sitting around looking at Facebook. So the stakes are pretty low. It can't be that bad. And you can always turn it off. And I don't care. So, and it's kind of nice to hang out with people and I enjoy doing it. So, and I do have stuff to say. I don't want to just talk the whole time though. Oh, okay. Here we go. I got a taker. Thank you, Kim. Kim, who delivered my son, which is a great way. Okay, here I go. Wait, it's not there. It's here. Here we go. We're going to see what happens. Kim, I'll bring you on and we can talk about when my son was born. Bring Kim on camera. They will receive an invite to join. You should be getting an invitation to join me, and then we'll see what happens. I hope it works. If you don't, let me know and I'll try again. Oh yeah, it says adding. Something's happening. So guys, Kim Collins is going to come on. Kim, whose Facebook name includes doula because she is a doula and she was there the minute my son was born. So she's a good person to have on the show or whatever this is, the experiment. She's not there yet. She's coming. Anyway, I'm going to keep talking, Kim, until you come on. Maybe it doesn't work after all, which is good to know because I was going to start bringing my guests on that way. Look at my nose. When you have a black background, you really can see your profile of your nose. My nose is a little strange. It's very pointy. It's not that I've never noticed that, but I think I'll just do the rest of the, Kim, it says you didn't answer. Let me try again. Kim was our doula too? Oh my God. She's really good. Did she take amazing pictures? Because she took amazing pictures of my son being born. Okay, I'm going to try again, Kim. Bring them on camera. No, it's not working. All right. Well, that's very disappointing, I have to say. Very disappointing. Tim, do you want to come on camera? Well, I don't have an option to bring you on camera. Okay. Well, I'm very disappointed, Kim. It went there. It said it was adding you, but then it said you didn't answer. So I don't know what happened. Maybe you can let me know. Anyway, oh my God, I've started so many threads. Oh, I was going to answer Lisa Gillette's question. Her question was, how do you connect shame to your clairvoyant training? And I started talking about past lives. So when you do clairvoyant training, and again, I mean, I've only been doing it since February, but you're meditating and you're in your body. And you know how they say, like, the body keeps the score? There's a trauma book called, a book about PTSD called The Body Keeps the Score by the Bessel van der Kolk. The idea is that the body, oh no, I'm getting low battery signal on my phone. So we're going to wrap it up when my phone dies, guys. That's how it's going to go tonight. So we're having a great time. I'm glad you guys are here. And we're going to just keep talking until my phone dies, which works for me because I'm already getting really tired. Well, no, I'm not really tired. Actually, I'm not tired at all. I'm having a ball, but my phone's going to die because I didn't get to charge it because I was running around driving people to tutoring and whatnot. I keep saying that because I just had one of those days, one of those mom days. I had to cancel a bunch of stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Wah, wah, wah. Poor me. Anyway, when you're doing the clairvoyant training, you are moving around inside of your energy system, and you're moving around between your chakras with your psychic, with your mind, basically. So it's not even that different from mindfulness. And you start cleaning stuff out. You clean out blockages, and then you start pulling cords out of the chakras. And the cords are connections that we have to people, where I mean, it's literally a visual cord. You imagine like a phone wire or something that's going from your chakra out to somebody that you're mad at or worried about, and they can cord you. Sometimes you can go into your chakra and you just feel the cords. You don't even know where they're coming from. You pull them out. And then when you pull them out, this is just a summary of what happens. That's one thing you do. And then also, so if something comes up, if you think of somebody or something, if something distracts you from this work you're doing, this inner moving around between your chakras, and you're bringing light in through the top of your head, and you're bringing energy up from the earth, and you're running this energy through your system, all with your mind. And then you create these roses on the outside of your chakra. And this, I think, is actually connected to the Kabbalah and Rosicrucianism. And I know the word Rosicrucianism, I know how to say it, but I don't know anything about it. I don't know what it means, but it does have rose in it. So you visualize these roses, and then you do a lot of like exploding these pictures, and you drain the pictures. I know I'm going very fast here. This sounds, it's complicated, but the point is you're draining energy out of memories and thoughts. So, for example, something I might have been ashamed of, or something, actually tonight in my class. So tonight in my class, we were doing some chakra work, and she'll say afterwards, did any pictures come up for anyone? And the picture that came up for me, whatever reason, was playing doctor with my first cousin when I was like 7. And I haven't thought about that in a long time. I've certainly thought about it, but Kim, I'm sorry it didn't work. I couldn't bring you on. I will try one more time. I'm just like cliffhanger, I know, because I'm talking about playing doctor with my cousin. Very cliffhanger. Okay, I'm trying again, Kim. It says add. Now it says adding. So if it comes up on your computer, just accept the invitation, Kim, and hopefully you can come on board. But then we're going to get, like, the battery's going to die on my phone. Hello. It worked. My first guest. All right, I'm taking myself off. Okay. Hello. Hi, Kim. Hi. So it worked. Now I don't know what to do with you. I had to turn on permission, just so you know. I had to go into privacy and settings and turn on my camera and my microphone. Okay. I don't know. I poked around. I hit a lot of buttons. I guess it worked. I'm so excited, but maybe when you were poking around, messing with all your questions. Wait, do you have like? If you turn the volume down, and like an echo. Oh. But then you won't be able to hear. I can hear you. I turned the volume way down. Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. I can hear you too. So I think that we have my guests come on. They're gonna have to wear headphones. Yes, I have done like FaceTime interviews and stuff before, and I had to wear headphones. Well, this is something. Yeah. Well, darling, I don't think I can keep you on as long because of the echo. But we come back once we grab the headphone thing on another. Absolutely. Okay. I think that feedback is. I feel like it was my own echo. Absolutely.
Okay, good. I'm glad it worked.
I'm done, Dina. Thank you, Kim. Thanks for volunteering.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye. Now let's see what
Bye. Now let's see what happens.
Okay.
I don't know how to say. I don't know how to turn you up.
Hi, Liz Dornfeld. I think, do you say goodbye? Is there a button to press?
I don't see.
I don't see one.
I could close. Maybe.
So
maybe you should go off.
maybe you should go off and come back on.
Okay, I'll do that.
Like.
Okay.
Okay.
Like,
Thank you.
okay. Thank you.
Oh yeah. So there she is, frozen on screen. I love her so much. She delivered my son. But yeah, she didn't catch him with the OBGYN caught him, but Kim was there and she took pictures and just calmed me down immensely. But I didn't make it through without drugs. That did not happen. That was my goal. So like I'm just kind of spitballing. What was I talking about? Oh, the clairvoyant training. So the next time I need to ask people to wear their headphones, and that way there won't be feedback. So you're moving the energy around your system, and pictures come up. And when you're doing this clairvoyant meditation, and then I guess the idea is that you are draining. You'll take the picture. Oh, I was talking to my cousin, how I played doctor with my cousin. So for some reason that came up, and sometimes there'll be a picture behind the picture. So that picture came up tonight. It's basically a memory. A picture is a memory, and obviously that does connect to shame because I remember so well. I mean, I think sometimes people think. Like my brother thinks I have some kind of bizarre condition because I can remember so many detailed things from our childhood, like really detailed. I don't know if that's unusual. I'm sure there's people that are out there watching that would corroborate that it's not that weird. I do write. I write fiction. I write memoir. So I write first person stories. So yeah, I do. I sit around. I don't know, Yvonne, if you're still watching. I know my friend Yvonne also writes memoir. If you sit around and think about your childhood, maybe you'll start digging up more memories. But I remember this memory so well. My cousin and I, well, this is obviously you would remember this. He's a boy, and we were sitting on the floor in front of the TV in my mom's bedroom, and it was like, this is a long time ago. So it was like a cabinet TV. Back then the TVs were like furniture, and it was this big wooden TV with 4 wooden legs, and we had 3 channels, and we were watching TV. It was dark, and it was like the shades were down, and we were just playing with each other's genitalia. I mean, which is what doctor is. I mean, we knew we were playing doctor. We said, let's play doctor. I don't know how we knew what to do. And so what did then the person teaching me the meditation said, so what feelings came up when that picture came up? And I said shame and guilt and a little pleasure. I don't have to admit it. Like there must have been some pleasure, and I was just a little kid. Little kids do that all the time, but I definitely felt ashamed of it and carried it and for a really long time. So I guess this is the shame reduction part of this. I did not plan this out, but it did happen tonight because I took my daughter to tutoring. I was supposed to have my clairvoyant training class online from 7 to 9, and I couldn't go because I had to take my daughter to tutoring, which I forgot about. And so I sat in my car in Summit and did it on my phone, and just for an hour. And so I only got like the first half of the class, but that was one memory that came up. And they call it a picture in clairvoyant training. They don't call it a memory. And then you go under the picture, and you can go under that picture, and I think and then like you go into past life stuff too, which is a whole nother thing. The past life thing is the thing I'm just getting interested in too. I have wide-ranging shame reduction tools for you. Now, before my phone battery dies, Lisa, did that answer your question at all? And you wanted to know how running your energy can deal with how shame is attached to that. That kind of, for me, would loop back to the Buddhism and the mindfulness. Just to be reminded that that you can identify with your feelings, but you are not your feelings, and that your feelings, and that brings me back to Tim's question, which is that I'm trying to invent something. The thing I'm trying to invent has to do with this idea that I feel like, well, I need a minute. We have to meditate for another minute. When the screen goes blank, The show is over. Just so you know. That means my phone has died. So it may happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. Hopefully, it'll happen relatively soon. So let's all just meditate for a minute. Let me think about the way I'm going to tie all this stuff together. At least a minute. And if you don't know how to meditate, just cry. All right, I'm done. I don't know if that was a minute or not, but so I probably haven't really meditated every day for 25 years. That's a lie. I just want to that just popped up during my meditation, but a lot of the days, because I've been doing 12-step stuff for 25 years, and I think in like the second year of my sobriety, I didn't even know this. Somebody else told me this, that I started meditating every day, and I forgot about that. And she said, "Oh, I remember." And then she became a big Vipassana meditator. But at that point, I suggested it to her. I said, "I meditate every day for 5 minutes. You should try it." In an AA meeting sort of setting. And then she did it, and then she went on to become, the Buddha. And I'm this. Also the Buddha. Remember? Yes, I'm a spiritual teacher / performance artist. Pretending to be a spiritual teacher who's pretending to be a performance artist. So, to wrap it up, I did find a way to wrap it up while I was sitting there, which is, let's say, to answer Lisa's question, the clairvoyant training, when you're doing the meditation and you're moving around in your chakras and you're cleaning them out with little roses and little imaginary Q-tips, there's a lot of visualization that goes on to clearing out your energy and moving golden light through your chakras and bringing up this beautiful red energy from the earth, and then you have a grounding cord and you're shooting stuff down. I mean, it's just this kind of fun, you have your aura, you're visualizing all this stuff, this whole psychic realm, and you're exploring it. You're kind of wandering around in it with your eyes, in your mind. So in that way, I think it's a little bit like Tibetan Buddhism, where they have a map, like the mandala is a map, and you go through different stages in your meditation. You follow a map. So it's kind of like a map, but the map is your chakras. So let's say a picture comes up, like the picture that I had of me playing doctor with my cousin. That's a thought. They call it a picture in clairvoyant training, but I guess in the Buddhism they would probably call it a thought. So the thought comes up, and then a feeling is attached to the thought, or the thought's attached to a feeling. And so let's say the feeling would be shame, because I felt shame that I played doctor with my cousin. And so in that sense, and so that's, I'm trying to answer your question, Lisa. So the shame, it rides in on the thought. Okay, that's one way to look at it. So, and then this brings me back to Tim's question, which is, how am I becoming an inventor? I had this idea. So I read this book a few weeks ago. It was like one of these really cheesy Time Life books that my friend got at a yard sale. It was called UFO. They had it was called Into the Unknown. I think that was something like that was the name of the whole series. Or maybe that was a different book, but it was something like In Search Of. I don't know if anyone remembers that show, but it was this series of books about all things like tarot cards and screes and reading tea leaves and UFOs, all the wacky woo-woo stuff. There was a volume for each one, and so the one she had, there was something about time, and how do I explain this? But this guy was saying that this guy was writing in England in the 1800s, and he was trying to invent, or he had a dream. He had like this dream. One night he had a dream, and then this really vivid dream, and then the dream came true. Like, let's say the dream was that he met a guy in a bowler hat with a pipe, and the next day it came true. And so then he started really like exploring his concept of what time was, and he started to say that time. I don't know if I can explain it. That you move up to time, that you move up to a moment, the way that you move up to an object. That there is no time, and I'm pretty sure that current physicists have proven this. That we're basically, I know this. I know this. And I have talked to a physicist about this, so I know this is true. Well, he says he was a physicist. He said he was a physicist. He said he was a physicist. He said he was a physicist at a party. I met him at a party, and he said he was a physicist. I don't know why I keep saying that. It's just fun to say. He said that we are moving around with the Newtonian time model, which I don't know much about Sir Isaac Newton, but I know it's a long time ago, like in 1700s maybe, and late 1700s maybe. But I know he had like the curly hair and the white wig sort of thing happening, so it wasn't yesterday. And that's his notion of time. His model of time is the one that we have used. We've built our lives around. Well, obviously, a lot has happened in physics since then. They've discovered a lot of things, and they have discovered that time doesn't exist. But we kind of going along with it because we don't know what else to do. It would just freak everybody out too much. So this guy had sort of figured it out separately, and his idea was something that you approach time the way you would approach an object, that you would approach a memory. I don't know, something like that. And I feel like maybe emotions are the same way, that the emotion is the entity. So shame is like sort of like floating around out there, and it gets attached to people and memories and thoughts, but it's definitely not really like of us. It's not of us. And I'm trying to and I think maybe I've gotten, because the other thing I want to say is that I got some feedback from one of my guests. This was the guest who asked me to take the episode or whatever this is called down after we did it. He came in, I've interviewed him, we talked for a long time. Then the next morning I woke up burning in shame, and I said maybe we should take it down. And I texted him, I said we'd like to take it down. He said yes, and I shouldn't have offered, but I did. And that sucked because it was a really good episode, but there were reasons why it wasn't good, but it was really, really good. I thought it was really good. And he said that he feels like I am wallowing in that, like that you shouldn't, I'm like ghost hunting or something, that when I go out, that if I went out looking for ghosts, if I was like, that I might find one, if you go looking for like an exorcism or something, if you're like on the Ouija board, you're like, bring back the ghost of, what's her name, Lizzie Borden, that maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you don't want to go out sort of like courting ghosts. And he had the same feeling about shame, ouch, that talking about it and doing like a monthly webisode or whatever the hell this is, Facebook time experiment, was going to bring it on me more, or like I would get more in it. And it definitely happened that night with him. But I don't know if I agree, and we'll find out later. I'm having no shame right now. Even when I was talking about that thing with my cousin, I didn't have any shame. Maybe I'm just having a good night. I was like burning in shame last night. I've been having a lot of jealousy lately, and jealousy, which is so painful, is also, it's definitely maybe not a cousin to shame. It's connected for me, for sure. So let's say jealousy and shame, let's say that there are these feelings, I think, and it connects to mindfulness Buddhism too, which is that the feeling is not coming in from inside of me. That it's like a whole different way of looking at the body and the self. It's what the Buddhism book calls the not self. Well, the Buddhism book I'm reading, there's many Buddhism books, but the not self. So the not self, I guess, is probably incapable of feeling, and is watching the feelings come in and come out. I'm guessing. I'm just on page 30, but the witness maybe. I don't know if the witness and the not self are the same. Does anybody know? Oh, whoops. Oh, I just got rid of everybody's comments. So, does anybody know if the not self is the same as the witness in Buddhism? At any rate, the feelings and the emotions that cause us so much suffering, which is the key word here. And let's say we're talking about shame here. So we'll say shame and jealousy cause so much suffering. This is just a theory. This is a possible theory. They're not in our bodies. They're like spirits. This is just, I'm spitballing here, okay? This is the inventing part, and it may not be true. It's probably not true. It could be true. It could be true. That they're spirits almost, and that they're out there. And this is the thing I was exploring with Kimberly Auerbach Berlin last month, was that, like, what if they're spirits and they're, and we move up to them, kind of, or they catch us, you know? They're everywhere, that shame is just like everywhere, and that we're just and that it's almost like our bodies are, well, they are electric, they are full of electrical impulses, they are made of electrons and stuff, and they're just kind of bumping into or attracting a certain emotion at a certain time. And the idea behind mindfulness, and this is the shame reduction part, is that you just watch it go by, and you don't take it personally, and you don't take responsibility for it, because it's not you. It's shame. It's the entity of shame that just washes through you, and it may be a thought. It may come in on a thought. It's almost like it rides in, like as a horse, like on a horse, like it comes riding in, like, oh, yeah. That was a horse. That was pretty good, actually. Now I sound like a witch. That's the galloping. This is TV, right? So I had to get. This is what they call. What do they call this? Shit. What do they call it when you make sounds for a recording? Like the galloping horse. It's called something. It's a really cool word. That's the horse. Okay, so that's the shame galloping in. Sorry, I'm wearing such a low-cut shirt. I did wear this today. I did not put this on just to be low-cut. My knee hurts. All right, here comes the galloping. So the shame comes galloping in on the back of a horse, and like lifts you off the ground and like throws you on the back of a horse. And then it's your choice to either hang on to the riding horse or to let go. And like maybe you fall off the horse, or maybe you just let go and you just float into the air. So yeah, that's the shame reduction part of this episode. And that is a wrap. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.